how do you take your shots?
Oh, in my, like, I am intramuscular in my thigh. So, new update on my life, because no one follows my life. But, okay, but anyway, so, like, I was taking them 10 days apart, because I heard it's a 10-day testosterone cycle before it leaves your body, and then you get run down. But then I was like, I kind of feel like I get run down before that, so I'm switching to weekly, and I'm going to do 0.25 every Friday.
Do you get needle fear?
No.
No, it's fine. You can just stab a needle into your leg.
I'm a daredevil.
Rare. Okay. That's the end of those questions on there, but I have so many more questions. Okay, how did you choose your name?
Ever since I was little, my birth name is Isabel. So whatever.
I didn't even know that.
I don't care who knows it because I never disliked it, but I only disliked how long it was, 3 syllables. And ever since I was little, I thought if I had a son, I would name them Isaac. I really liked that name. And then I came out, and I already knew that was going to be my name, and then some shit happened where I thought I couldn't take the name, so I changed it to a different name, and then I changed it back to Isaac, and this is who I've always truly been. I'm Isaac. Yay. Okay.
Love it. That's
I
beautiful.
Like Isaac. Thank you. How did you choose Robin?
I knew I wanted a Gaelic name because I'm Irish, and I wanted something that my mom, who passed away, would be proud of. And so I was on a baby website, a baby name website, like a Gaelic baby name website. And, like, I was just fucking around, and I, like, pressed R, and there was, like, RYLAN, RYLAND, and then RILEN. And I was like, that's really beautiful. And so that was the only name that I ever asked anyone to call me. That was the only name that I connected with. There was a few that I kind of tossed around. Like, I thought about Addison, but that was way too close to my birth name that I thought, what the fuck is the point of changing it at all?
Like, a pretty, like, I think it's strongly associated with, like, girls as a girl name. And even though you're gender fluid now, at the time, you probably thought you were...
No, I thought of it as a masculine name. It actually means island meadow in Gaelic, but, like, I've had a few fuckers be like, that's not a guy's name, like, when I was identifying as FtM. Really, no one has given me a problem about it, but I've had a few people be like, that's a feminine name, and now that I'm, like, non-binary, I don't give a fuck what pronoun you think my name is. I don't give a fuck what pronouns you think I am or what gender you think I am. Like, I'm doing me, motherfuckers.
I still identify as, like, a guy, basically, and I did since the beginning. There was even a period where I was scared of becoming really masculine, because even when I came out and I knew that, like, basically whatever it was inside me was, like, male, and, like, I definitely felt, I guess, binary in that sense. I still felt very, very feminine, and I didn't really want to be masculine. I didn't really want to grow facial hair. I didn't want to be big and burly or anything like that. I didn't really want to be very masculine. And one of the reasons why I wanted to transition, actually, is because I wanted to be able to wear the clothes that I like wearing and the hair that I have, and not have it be interpreted as masculinity, but rather as femininity. Because, you know, if you are perceived as, like, assigned male at birth, like, what you do is coded very differently than if you are assumed to be assigned female at birth, you know.
So with that being said, have you ever thought about stopping testosterone?
I went on a low dose, and there was a period, but I was, like, very sad, and where I was watching a lot of transition videos, but even when I was watching this... but the thing that I always thought when I was watching the stupid fucking detransition videos is, like, they're like, I was really a woman all along. I was just, like, so influenced by the patriarchy, and I'm like,
that is not my story.
You can identify as fucking non-binary, gender fluid, or whatever the hell you want. You don't have to be, like,
binary
trans
gender.
Doesn't mean you're a man. Like, you can be so many other things, and it's like, it seems like they don't understand that trans is, like, whatever, an umbrella.
It's an umbrella.
So, like,
and non-binary is like an umbrella under the umbrella.
So you don't have to, like, you can be dysphoric and do all these sorts of things and still be trans or gender non-conforming and not have to, like, rail against, like, trans people or whatever. Because I feel like a lot of the worst TERFs are, like, detransitioned.
And I, like, personally... I don't like to use the word detransition, like, for those of you
I don't
like
the word either.
Yeah, I don't like it, and I don't identify with it at all. Like,
and I think that most people who do, like, choose to go off testosterone, they don't identify with that word either, unless they, like, they suddenly are like, oh my god, trans.
I'm not anything. Like, I don't want to be on testosterone anymore. Like, I was on T for almost 2 years. And I was just like, this...
It's kind of like you
this
come
isn't
out
what
and
I want to
it's the
do
beginning
anymore.
of you just sort of exploring who you are. And then in that, process. You make decisions and you figure things out. And you don't anything. You just choose different, you know.
The people that I surround myself with, like the 2 other people that I made video with, like one of them identified as FtM for a very long time, and then they realized that they were non-binary. And that's kind of my narrative. I identified as FtM for 3 years. I was on T for basically 2 years. I've had top surgery. And then I just realized, like, there was some stuff that I didn't like about it and that I wanted to, like, prevent from happening further. That doesn't mean I'll never be on T. That doesn't mean I'm not a guy. Like, I don't label myself. I identify as gender fluid because I am what I am in the moment, and I like to express that with my clothing, and, you know, that's it.
I identify as male because, for me, what was really important is that no matter how feminine I am, like, it's still, like, a man presenting femininely.
So, like, flamboyant? Or like...
Yeah, flamboyant, or like that. The biggest reason why I wanted to pass was that I wanted my femininity to be seen as gay femininity and not as lesbian femininity, to use, you know. And so that's like one of the strongest, like, drives that I've had, is that, like, I want my gender expression to be in the context of a male person. So, like, if I want to be feminine, if I want to be this or that, I want society to see that as being someone, like, as someone who's like a male person doing that thing. And that's why I felt horrible when people would call me, like, mannish or butch or a lesbian in high school, because, like, I didn't feel that way. I felt feminine. But you can't present that way if you are seen as a girl. And
how long have you been out that people were calling you that? And you felt
I wasn't, because I was never out. But the thing is, like, I'm trans as fuck. So, like, I've been trans since I was, like, 3 years old. So, like, you can't you can't hide it. And so people were calling me a man and, like, a tranny when I was in high school, and an it when I was in high school, like, every day. Like, I had a bad high school experience. And so I went deep into the closet when I was in high school, and I tried to be really, really feminine, because I didn't feel like a butch person. And, like, that's what I had to confront when I came out, was, like, being okay with people seeing me again as, like, a masculine woman, or as, like, an it, or as, you know, whatever.
It's horrible. Don't ever fucking call someone an it.
It's dehumanizing.
It's rude. It's fucking rude as shit. If you don't know someone's gender, like, just don't assume it either way and treat them as a human being.
You do it, like, because they're doing it on purpose. No one says it to be nice.
This is true. I remember someone at work called Caitlyn Jenner it, and I wasn't out as trans, and I was in a fucking cis male, like, I was working for, like, oh my god, it was, like, the most masculine job that anyone could ever have, and I was, like, 1 month on T, like, my voice was like, oh my god, like, I can't even do it anymore. And this one fucker, this is right when, like, Caitlyn Jenner was kind of, like, coming out and, like, did the Vanity Fair cover, and someone called her an it, and I outed myself to some of my coworkers. I was like, that's fucking offensive, like, I'm trans. It was a whole big thing. Like, just don't fucking do that. Like, what's your advice if someone doesn't, like, know, like, what gender you are, what pronouns to use? Like, what would you say?
If someone doesn't know what gender I am, and what
anyone, like, if someone is, like, looking at someone and they're like, oh, is that a guy or a
so
girl?
I have one thing, and I've talked to others. So, like, okay, well, if you don't know if someone's a guy or a girl, don't worry about it, because it doesn't matter. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like,
ooh, intrigue.
That's what I think. Like, you shouldn't worry yourself one way or the other, and the pronoun they is very fucking useful. Use it if you don't know, because it's non-offensive. I haven't met a single person who's been offended by it. I'm sure someone can pop up and say that they are, and if someone explicitly tells you not to call them they, then, like, that's a different story. But in general, they is just, like, that's a great gender-neutral pronoun. Like, I wish we just had one in English naturally.
And don't say, this is for all the haters out there that are going to say, it's grammatically incorrect. The way I learned that they was okay.
We're beyond that. Like, we don't even need to address that anymore, because if you're still saying that that's
there are people, though. There are people that are going to comment on this video and say that they is not a valid pronoun. Because I promise, like, I will make a video eventually saying, like, I'm okay with they, them, their pronouns. And there are still people that are going to be transphobes that watch this video that are going to say that's not valid.
And yet they use it every day in their normal speech.
Right. If you're like, when did the postman come by? You're going to be like, oh, they came by at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
You use it every day. It's like the equivalent of it, but not as rude.
But you're intentionally being rude.
True, you're intentionally being rude, but I'm just saying...
You don't say it without intention. They is the same sort of meaning as, like, you're not assigning them a gender.
Exactly.
But you're intentionally being respectful.
Can we talk about this box of, like, this gender...
I brought this box.
Queer, like, this... Look, who...
Wait,
what?
Wait. First of all, this is Fruity Pebbles.
First of all, gay as fuck. Like, queer cereal
Second of all,
for the
win.
win.
The person on the back, I think...
Yes!
No one can tell what they are.
I don't know what gender they are.
How they identify.
And according to Isaac, doesn't matter, and it's none of your fucking business, motherfuckers.
Also, okay, I have a very controversial opinion on this that maybe I shouldn't even say, but I've talked to other people about this, and I've been in spaces that are not trans, and I think it's different when you're in trans spaces.
Like this whole weekend.
Like the
5 trans people.
Like the LGBT Center or trans people or something like that. But I've been in places like jobs that are very progressive, and they do this thing where they go around and they ask everyone their pronoun. I think that's really fucking stupid. Because, this is why. Because, like, people are gonna... Okay, because we would go around the room and say the pronouns.
This is in queer spaces?
No, in
non-queer
non-queer spaces. Yeah, but the very progressive places, because I worked as a canvasser for Planned Parenthood, right? But, like, most people there were straight, and everyone except me was cis. So, like, we would go around the room every day, and we would say our pronouns, and, like, there would be some people there who were clearly cis, clearly gender nonconforming, and would say, I don't care what pronoun to use. And I would sit there being like, do you care what pronoun to use?
No.
Yeah, they would be, and also, no one's gonna mess up your motherfucking pronouns because you're clearly a cis man or a cis woman, and honestly, let's get down to it, you do care. You do fucking care.
That's bullshit. I totally disagree. No.
You
Wrong.
disagree with me.
I disagree with you. People look at me and assume that I'm a cis female. And I literally am at the point in my transition where I don't care what you gender me as. I literally don't care.
This is the thing I need to add to this. Is that I think that when people do have pronouns, and first of all, these sort of like things where you go around and say your pronouns only happen in progressive spaces.
Right.
Right? The same sort of spaces that are responsive to you saying what your pronouns are. And I think that, like, a lot of people, and I know myself included, had issues. I never liked it when people asked me what my pronouns were before I passed. I always hated it. I always didn't like it. Like, and I know there are other people who don't like it.
Right, because it's a sign that you're not passing as a certain gender.
You're not passing as a certain thing.
But I agree. I disagree. I think that's an appropriate question to ask someone. Because if you're not sure and you're fucking misgendering someone, do you know how many times I go to restaurants and I get called ladies when I identified as FtM? Hey, ladies. I know,
but when you're at a restaurant, they're not going to ask you what your pronouns are.
Right. Okay, that's a bad example. But you're assuming my gender.
But what I think is that I think that they is a pronoun that should be more widely used, and it's not, and it shouldn't be like, what are your specific pronouns?
So what do waiters and waitresses say?
I mean,
hey y'all.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I always said when I was a server.
But that's even less to ask than asking them to say.
I just think I'm in the mindset that you should ask someone's pronouns if you're really. I know
a lot of people are. I'm not, and I think it's because of my personal experiences. But I also don't have like strong opinions on it, and it doesn't bother me, you know. And so if it's better, then like that's good. But I think, and I remember, I dated this trans femme person who has since come out as a trans woman, and they also had the same experience. They actually worked a similar job to me, where we would go around every day and say our pronouns, and they felt exactly the same way.
No, I understand how that's offensive.
They were non-binary, and it is extremely offensive to see people who are clearly cis say that they don't care what pronouns that people call them.
I didn't even touch that.
Because
that's ridiculous.
Because you do fucking care, so say your fucking pronouns.
But also, how do you not know that they're not trans, though? How do you know? You cannot tell from looking at someone. You
cannot tell by looking at someone, except that in these instances, I also fucking knew. And can we just be honest and like can we just like have a trans moment right here? And like sometimes you do fucking know. And if I met you out in the wild, I wouldn't be like, oh, this is a cis girl. Like I would you know. So these are cis people saying, I don't care, and if you don't care, you're not cis. And so, by saying that you don't care, you're lying, and you're also sort of, like, kind of appropriating, like, trans pronouns.
Experiences.
You know? And experiences. And that's fucking stupid. And I think that when organizations force people to choose pronouns when 99% of people have very clear pronouns because they're cis, it makes people have this, like, oh, I don't give a shit feeling, and they say, like, I don't care. And it just sort of, like, waters down something that's important. Whereas I think when people actually come out and they say, hey, these are my pronouns, can you please call me this? Then people remember, they stick it in their mind. It's harder, but coming out is hard, you know? It's hard for everyone. Coming out's hard, and if you have to come out and you say, these are my pronouns, can you please respect them, then that's something that's more memorable to people, and it doesn't sort of, like, minimize how important it is. Whereas when you go around and ask everyone to say their fucking pronouns,
I think it's just they're trying to be respectful.
They're trying to be respectful, but I think it's completely misguided, and it was made by someone who's cis.
I don't know. I disagree.
I think that's fine. I think that in a trans circle, that is important. But also at the same time, it's like when people go around and say their fucking names, you never remember it, you know. Right. So like you always need to reintroduce it. So
you're saying it's okay to ask someone's pronouns in like queer spaces, but it's not okay in predominantly cisgender spaces to like ask someone's pronouns.
I don't think it's not okay. I don't think it helps or it works, and I think that it makes the trans people there, like speaking as the only trans person who was there as far as I knew, uncomfortable, because like I told everyone my pronouns were he or they, and I remember being really fucking annoyed by the people who said that they didn't care what their pronouns were, because I was like, yes you do, but the only reason you don't care is you're never going to be misgendered in your fucking life, right. You know, whereas like someone like me, yeah, I do get misgendered. And it is important to me.
Do you still get misgendered, even a year and a half on teeth?
No. The worst the biggest that happened, if I grow my hair out, people start to be like, they're not sure. The other day, someone was like, I've had a couple instances with people being like, hey, bruh. Oh, wait, you're a bruh, right? Like, you know, I've had that happen a couple times. And then I'm just like, yeah, whatever. But I don't care anymore.
Are you stealth in any, like, situations in your life, or are you completely out everywhere?
So at school, I'm out to anyone who will ask or who will pay attention to my social media, because like I don't hide it. I'm only stealth, weirdly, to my roommates, which I told you about. I have 2 roommates. One's moving out though, and I'm sure they wouldn't care. I just have never known how to bring it up, and usually I don't come out and tell people. I just sort of like let them know, like through hints, because I do pass well enough that it's not, you know, it is like a coming out thing and it's awkward. So like usually it's like, oh, we're friends on Facebook, and then through Facebook or Instagram you'll see.
Right.
Or I don't know, maybe you'll see a trans flag in my room.
So your people at work, they don't know?
At my school. I'm not working right now.
Oh, right. Okay.
I'm gonna start working soon, and they may or may not know, but I talk about trans shit a lot, and I know a weird amount of stuff.
So your gender marker is male, then?
No, my gender marker is female.
So your boss will know that you're trans, but like the people...
No,
well, don't you have to write?
You write in your gender. But I would write male because male's my gender. Legally, my sex is female.
Oh.
But unless it asks for my sex, and it doesn't ask that, I don't have to ever...
Interesting.
I have to come out if they ask for, sometimes they do criminal backgrounds where it asks for former names. And then if I'm being very honest, I have to come out. Which I don't care. But like...
Okay. Was there anything you want, like, people to know about being trans, or any, like, coming out, or, like, pronouns, or just about you? Like, what do you have to say?
I think that coming out is probably really obvious, but when you come out, it's the very, very beginning. It's just the very beginning, and it's not like a culmination of your experiences. It's the very beginning of you sort of like exploring who you are, and you literally go through puberty, and you literally, like, you refigure out who you are in the world, and it takes a while. It doesn't happen. You don't know who you are in the beginning for most people, and it changes quickly and rapidly, and
if you decide to take hormones.
If you decide to take hormones, but even if you don't, like, when you come out, it's just, you're not
things are gonna fucking change.
You're not declaring who you are, you're declaring I think you're more declaring who you're not. So you're declaring you're not a cis woman.
Whoever. Yeah.
You're declaring you're not cis, but you're not declaring who you are. You're just declaring that you're not cis, and then you go from there.
Okay.
And so it changes, and you don't know where you're going to end up. And I didn't know where I was going to end up, but right now I'm pretty happy with like this.
You're happy with this.
Yeah.
Personal question. Don't have to respond. What are your thoughts on people like deciding to or not have surgeries when it comes to being trans?
I mean, I think it's like what they want, you know.
Right. So take away from this, you don't have to have surgeries to be valid. Like, you can have surgeries, you can have some and not the other. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I identify as gender fluid, and I've had top surgery, and some people are going to be like, well, what the fuck? If they're not a guy or a girl, or they're both, like, why do they not want boobs? Well, because that's my fucking decision, and it's my life, so you don't have to know. So, all right. Well, I think that's all I got for you, good sir.
Thank you.
This was a pleasure to have you on my channel.
Thanks for having me.
Shy boy, you're just like, nah.
I'm really shy.
All right. Yes, it's actually true. All right. Well, thank you for coming on my channel, Isaac. Thank you guys for watching.
We're just sitting in a cabinet. I didn't come on anywhere. I just sat down. And
yeah, but you came on a video on the internet.
And he pulled up profile, whatever, pick photo booth.
Photo booth.
And I sat down next to him, and I've already had like 8 beers. So
this is true too. No, but it's fine. You came on my channel.
Sometimes you'll become trans, and also you're an alcoholic, and you chain smoke, but you're still a good person.
Oh my god, get on. We're at it. Bye, everybody. Have a good day.
I'm a horrible person.
Stop it. Bye.